up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at the Rady's home base because you know what? We have some exciting information to bring to you. This is it. This is not only the info on the last of the second gen Acura NSX, but also they're going out, and they're going out in a big way with this second generation of the NSX, the first ever Type S here in the United States. Without further ado, we got lots of info. Let's dive right in. And there it is, all kind of cloaked in mystery. This little video clip that was given to us by Honda and Acura. You'll notice right off the bat, this is not just about extra horsepower. This is really a fine-tuning of the complete vehicle. Not only from aero, of course, you're also going to get that extra performance that we come to expect from that Type S badge. And remember, this is the third Type S vehicle, but seeing it being driven around this track really makes my heart pitter-patter, and I want to get my hands on one of these. The best thing is, if you're looking at all of the awesome work that they did to the front end of the business, to the back of the NSX, it is functional, which is great. Remember, another mid-engine supercar, the R8 had a refresh and some restyle, and a lot of the vents are black. But I decided to put the video clip back in for a second go around just so you could see those details. Obviously, numbered edition. It's going to be one of 350 that are being built. And here in the United States, we're getting 300 of them. So we will get the most of these new NSX supercars. But the Type S, seeing the design, that color is a new color. There's going to be 10 colors. That color is called Gotham Gray Metallic. It's actually a satin matte finish, which looks really spectacular on the car. Let's look now at some of those fine details with these great photos that they gave us. So like I said, this is the third of the Type S vehicles. You got the TLX, the upcoming MDX Type S, and now the Acura Type S. Looking at the front, I love the sharp angles and edges that they brought to the front of the vehicle. A lot of this is from that NSX GT3 car that races in the IMSA WeatherTech series in the GTD class, and really brought a lot of what they learned from the racetrack to the Type S. You'll see that functioning corner vents. That whole center area is fully functional with that wire mesh finish. And I really think, like I said, out of the 10 colors, that Gotham Gray Metallic really highlights all of the edges. You're going to, of course, get that multi-jewel LED headlight setup that they had on the pre-refresh NSX for this Gen 2. And remember, we're talking about this basic car has been around since 2016. It first appeared in the Avengers movie back in 2012 as a concept car. But the tail end of the business, I really think the changes that they made even highlight more what's going on with the LED lighting. You'll notice an all-new rear diffuser. That diffuser is going to help suck the NSX to the pavement like a Hoover vacuum cleaner, and design, once again, like I said, taken right from the GT3 race car that Acura races in the GTD class of the IMSA WeatherTech series. You'll notice the blacking out of the badges. There's going to be some new wheel designs. You're going to have 2 different wheels to choose from. And then there's even a lightweight package that they're going to bring to help shed almost 60 pounds off of this refresh. Now with the refresh, we're getting more downforce. You'll notice with the carbon fiber package, you see that front splitter, how it extends out. That's going to help scoop that air into all those coolers, the heat exchangers. And not only does that style look freaking fantastic, I can't wait to see that beautiful carbon fiber. And Acura does such a great job with the carbon fiber work on the NSX. Not only on the outside, but remember, you could get the carbon fiber package on the interior and also the engine compartment. Now, you'll notice the wheel design. Those are the optional wheels. You have your shark gray, which are going to be your standard 19-inch up front, 20-inch wheels out back, but then there is going to be a lighter design. Both of them are forged. So the great thing about being a forged wheel is that it's super strong and also light for that lower rotating mass. You're going to have the optional carbon ceramic brake rotors with 4 different caliper colors. The gray with those red calipers there, that tomato sauce red, is going to clamp down on that carbon ceramic rotor. Those are the optional rotors. That helps dissipate heat very, very quickly, especially when you're doing a track day. But you'll notice from this angle at the front, all those lines, the way they sweep up, are going to help generate the downforce that's going to allow this vehicle to stick to the ground. Now, when we talk about sticking to the ground, this does have that super handling, the SH all-wheel drive system that is brought to you by this being a hybrid vehicle, a performance hybrid vehicle. We have the electric motors combined with that twin turbo V6. But really, I'm so glad that they changed up the front. That was one of those things that I think for some people was getting a little long in the tooth. And I know that for me, some of the fake vents were a big zonk, but now we can recant those zonks, take the zonks back, because what we're seeing at the front looks great. I love this picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. So on the straightaway here at the racetrack, we have the original first gen NSX. And if you remember, that goes all the way back to 1990 with that upcoming 2022 NSX Type S. Now, some people, let me know what you think in the comment section. At this angle, it almost looks a little bit like the Audi R8. But like I was telling you, the Audi R8, when they did the refresh, they added all that black plastic. It's non-functional. This, all of that front end is all wire mesh, and it really allows that air to just come through. Plus, I feel like with the wire mesh, instead of the plastic venting, even if it's functional or not, it just looks higher quality. And remember, this is fully hand assembled here in the United States in Ohio, which is fantastic to think about. Now you'll notice the black mirror caps that you're gonna get. There's the back. I don't know if you've ever looked at an NSX long enough at this particular angle. That rear fender just has a beautiful, almost like rainbow bend to it. I really think that that aesthetically just destroys the back end of the C8. The way the C8 Corvette kind of is a little bit more hard edge and it kind of carries a straighter line. That nice rainbow bend just, I don't know, there's just something about it that's very visually pleasing. And that flying buttress design coming from behind the side glass shows that aerodynamic efficiency, shows the functionality to bring that air, suck that air in to that twin turbo V6 with the intercoolers, yet it looks fantastic. And remember, another car that has that flying buttress design is the Ford GT. So you're going to have some of that design resemblance, but the way that Acura does it, they do it in a real clean way. And those, like I said, those wheels, the new style wheel, fantastic. Now you'll notice in this picture, the carbon fiber package in the engine compartment. You'll also notice the Type S badge. You're going to have that serial number badge, one of 350 here in the United States. We're going to have 300 units of it. Since we're talking about engine compartment, let's talk about performance. Look at that thing of beauty. I've always had a sweet spot in my heart for this second gen engine. It almost looks like an alien heart, especially with the optional red color there with the Type S color. You know, they're bringing that red, a little bit dabbing it everywhere in this vehicle, and the carbon fiber with the NSX badge. So let's talk about what's going on here. 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, just like before. We're now looking at, are you ready for this? 600 horsepower, 492 pound-feet of torque. Now, when we compare that to the before pre-refresh and the non-Type S, you're looking at 573 horsepower, 476 pound-feet of torque. So we are getting quite a bit of both to help elevate that performance. And of course, like I said, still mated with the electric motors. Now you're gonna have that 9-speed DCT, that dual clutch transmission, very fast shifts. And what they did was, is on the downshifts from 2nd to 7th, they've actually raised when it allows you to downshift about 1500 RPM. That's going to allow you to really have greater control when you're hard on the brakes, get ready to turn into that bend. Now you could go flip through the paddles mounted on the back of the steering wheel to get down those gears quicker. It's got a dry sump oil system. What does that mean? The oil is not contained in an oil pan. It's actually in a separate reservoir, and what it does is it feeds just the right amount of oil so that you're going to have the lubrication, but you're also not going to have that sloshing around effect of the oil in the oil pan that can happen on a car when you take it on the track, or if you do some heavy cornering in the twisty bits, and you could actually have oil starvation and blow the motor. So this is technology, like I said, engineering that's been developed on the racetrack, brought to you in this NSX, especially the Type S. You got a 15.9 gallon fuel tank. No word yet on actual fuel economy. That is TBA. And if you don't know what that means, to be announced. Same thing with the weight. The overall weight of the vehicle, that is another number we're waiting on from Honda and from Acura for this vehicle. But I could tell you weight distribution, 42, 58. So 42% up front, 58% out back. This is a mid-engine car. That's what we've been talking about. You'll notice in this next picture, the Alcantara work. Let's talk about the interior. Talked about the engine, talked about some of the things going on there. Let's talk about the interior. So you have that Type S, that Alcantara with the beautiful stitch work. You're gonna have 3 different interior color choices. But I'm sure you're probably wondering, well, Joe, how did they get that extra horsepower? I want to know a little bit more about the horsepower. So they changed up the fuel injectors, the intercoolers, the turbos have been taken right from the GT3 race car. That brings up the boost to 16.1 pounds of boost. That's some of the work, and that's not even counting all the work that they did with the 9-speed DCT. But looking at that interior, those seats absolutely drop dead sexy. I love the NSX embroidery. I would go red. I would go with that red two-tone, looking slick. Those seats, they got the right amount of bolstering to where they don't squeeze you like a vice grip, or how your grandmother used to squeeze you when she'd give you a hug after not seeing you for a while. Really holds you in place very nicely, allows you to have a command, just a wonderful command of the vehicle. I know you're probably saying now, Joe, enough about the seats. What about performance? What about the actual numbers? Those numbers are not released yet. What I can tell you is that the current NSX, 2021 NSX, you do 0 to 60 with the launch control, that's going to go by in 2.7 seconds, and it has a top speed of around 191 miles an hour. So I'm going to be thinking 0 to 60 probably around 2.4, 2.5 seconds with this Type S, and maybe we'll see the top speed up to around 200 miles an hour. That would make sense to me. But looking at the interior, I've always liked that nice thick steering wheel with the carbon fiber package. If you option that in, you'll be getting not only the carbon fiber outside, but also on parts of the steering wheel, parts of the interior. And I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, how much is it? I'm looking at high performance cars. How much is this thing? So starting MSRP for the Type S is $169,000. If you want to go with the lightweight package, which I remember, we don't know total weight yet, but the lightweight package, they did say shaves around 60 pounds of weight. That's going to start at $182,000. Now, I was playing around with my calculator and looking at the option list and saying, if Joe Rady from Rady's Rides wanted an NSX Type S, which way would I option it? I pretty much added all the goodies, the lightweight package, the carbon ceramic brake rotors, the carbon fiber everywhere. I came up with a price of around $200,000 for all the different options. So kind of puts it in alignment to where we kind of started with this whole thing. And like I said, I think the craziest bit of news is that this is it. This is the end of the 2nd generation NSX. They're not saying if there's going to be a 3rd generation. Who knows what the 3rd generation is going to be, but I'm so glad to be able to bring you this exciting information. I definitely want to thank Chris and everybody over at Acura for sending over this embargoed information. We get to bring it to you first. If you want to keep seeing these types of unveils here on Rady's Rides, leave that comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you, 2 ways you could do it. Click the first link, become a Radies Rise Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera, setting up the layer here, the Radies Rise Dragon layer. She made it all happen. Thank you, Laura. You are a dragon slayer and the best videographer in all of the land. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.